And this all started by knitting, as a matter of fact. I started this whole rabbit hole of all these things I do now because I was a knitter. So when I moved to Stillwater, Oklahoma, I didn't know anybody, but I meet people. So I went to a community arts center where they had pottery and painting and spinning and weaving, and that's where I got hooked. And I bought a loom and bought my wheel, not that wheel, but it's been part of my life ever since. With kids and jobs, it's come and gone, but it always came back. I guess it kind of came to life for me more with my studio. I was laid off from my job for a while and did farmers markets and art fairs, and people would, well, first of all, people would say, "That's a lost art." That's why I picked the name for the business, because people would say that to me all the time. And then people would ask if I taught classes, and I thought, well, I could teach you what I know, some stuff. So that's kind of how it all started for me. I began renting a space in the Springs Gallery, and so I kind of did a little synopsis of the people that are at the studio. So that's the building. If you're from Waukesha, you might recognize it. Years ago, it used to be a Dickens of a Place antique store. So I was never in there then, but that's that building. And my actual studios is the entrance over here. Now I have a sign. But we have all different artists there. Most of the people in there are painters. And there's a common area that we can all use for larger classes. So that's kind of a little snapshot of that. We just recently got someone, Julie Hoppy, who's doing glass and beads. So she makes some really cool beads if beads are kind of your knitting. I guess also as I go on, as I've talked to people in here, how many people spin? How many people are spinners? So yeah, spinners. And how many people are weavers? All right. So I'm probably going to bore you with some of this because I really didn't know who my audience was. So anyway, that's where I am. I'm 519. It's a 2 address thing. There's a shoe works guy in there who's on the other side, and most of the artists are on the other side. And I did a thing where I said I had a PowerPoint, but I really had a publisher. So I want to show you a little video. So I'm part of the art crawl in Waukesha, and 2 or 3 years ago, a student from WCTC came and did some interviews of artists in the art crawl. And it's kind of a little glimpse of my studio, and it's just a little interview thing. I did a class last 2 weeks in Oconomowoc at an elementary school for 3rd graders, and I showed them this video because I thought it's a good way to kind of show where I am. So I push
The blue and green circle
blue and green circle
in the middle. There you go.
There.
Press
And then I do that.
After my conversation with Tom, I roamed down the hall to a room full of looms.
Hi.
I'm James.
Hi, James. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
It is
Nancy Wilson.
Nancy Wilson.
Yes, and welcome to my Lost Art Fiber and Textile Studio.
What exactly? So it's loom, right?
This is a weaving loom, yep.
Yeah. So what exactly are you doing?
I am weaving a scarf.
Okay.
So I sell scarves and I make things and sell them. I also teach classes here. So I'm doing this to sell, but I have other people who come and weave and learn how to weave.
Yeah.
And make things. So this is a scarf, and the long threads on here are what's called a warp. And when I do this, I put a really long warp on it, and then I weave several scarves. So
This is multiple scarves.
it will be. Right now, this is a blue one, and I'm measuring as I go along. And when I get done, then I make a space for fringe, and then I will pick another color and make another scarf. So they look similar, but they'll be very different.
It's cool. I've knitted a little bit.
Have you?
A couple scarves, but
Yeah,
no, not great.
it's good though. I mean, it's relaxing. It can be.
It is.
If you like it, it's relaxing. You have to like the process.
Exactly.
One of the reasons I also like to do this is it kind of brings it to Waukesha, so someone in this area who didn't want to go to Milwaukee could learn to weave. To learn to weave on a loom like this, I mean, you can see how much room it takes, how much space there is.
Quite large.
And so if somebody thinks they want to try it but don't really know if they like it, you can come here and just try it and see if you like it. And,
Yeah.
it's a social thing too. People come here
Yeah.
to weave and because of COVID, I'm really regulating how many people are here at one time. But there'll be 2 or 3 of us here and we laugh and talk and it's a social thing too.
That's really,
Yeah, yeah.
thank you for
I
talking
can
with
go
us.
on and on and on.
I mean, if I have,
Okay. I'll go back to my pseudo PowerPoint. So weaving looms, those of you who know weaving looms already know this, but there's floor looms, which is what I was weaving on in that little video. And so just showing you a couple kinds of floor looms. Then there are rigid heddle looms, which I brought a rigid heddle loom. So we teach a rigid heddle, intro to rigid heddle class, and then I have some friends who teach some fancier rigid heddle weaving. So I have one here, and I'm happy to show anyone after I present today how it works. You can try it, see it. That particular, what I'm weaving on there right now is I'm going to be teaching a class this summer at the Mequon and Deansville rec departments for weaving a towel. So that's kind of what that will look like. Okay, and so this is just some different rigid heddle looms, and you can get this is a cricket loom made by Shocked. There's lots of different kinds of rigid heddle looms, just like there's lots of different kinds of floor looms. And this is just a nice beginning one, but you can get them wider, ones that will use double heddles, that kind of thing. So, all right. And then there's tapestry looms. And there are ankle looms, and I brought an ankle loom here for you to see. I have someone teaching ankle loom class this fall. I have up here some different flyers and different things, and so the classes and the events I have are right here. So if you're interested in that, that's kind of listed right there. So with weaving, let's see.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
What does an ankle loom do versus the first one you said? This one.
The ankle loom is a band. So if you look at this size of this, what you can weave is just the width of this.
Like a
width of this.
headband or something?
Yeah, or a guitar strap or, yeah, that kind of thing. That's the definition of how wide you can weave it. So I have up here all kinds of things I've woven, and you know, you're welcome to come up and look at them. This is a color gamut that I did. I have one hanging on the wall when you saw the video, so I have one hanging on the wall. This is just, it's just a fun interaction of colors, and you can see how they come together. I weave shawls. I have some cotton shawls and some other shawls. One of the classes, when we teach the introduction to rigid heddle classes, an easy weave to do on a rigid heddle on the cricket is this mock houndstooth. So these are just samples of a mock houndstooth. People would weave and they didn't finish all of what they had, so I finished it off as samples. So they're up here. I also wove a mock houndstooth towel. So it's just interesting what you can do. It's very simple, and you can get an effect that looks like you put a lot of work in it. At my studio, one of the classes that I teach is called Take It From the Beginning. So backing up one step, I have a class called Just Weave. And basically that's somebody who's never woven before, who doesn't even know if they like weaving. I set up the loom, which is the long, difficult part, and you come and just weave. And you say, I love it, or that was nice, I don't ever need to do this again. But you tried it, you know, because at a studio is where everything's there, and you can just see if you like it. Then the next other class I teach is Take It From the Beginning, and that's planning project and setting up the loom, which takes the most amount of time, and then weaving. So this is kind of a sampler, so I let people choose what they want to make. I feel like it's really important, just like with knitting too is you gotta like what you're doing. You can't have to make something that you don't really wanna do. So when I do a Just Weave, they can do a sampler if they want, or if they say, I really want a table runner, I let them make a table, we plan it out and do a table runner. So I want it to be something they really are excited about. So up here, a couple things to show you. This is a weaving I did. It's called core spun. So there's a fine core and then there's wool wrapped around it. So it's a real thick yarn. And I wove this and it's supposed to be a rug yarn, but I'm not gonna let this be on the floor. I'm hanging on the wall in my studio because I really like the colors. So I just kind of draped it over here, but again, you're welcome to take a look at that. One of the other things I have at my studio is I make things and sell things. So I have up here some different scarves and shawls that I've woven. I like to do dyeing. So I have dye the warp, dye the yarn, and I'll get to that. I guess I have to follow my little PowerPoint thing here. So these are spinning wheels. What did I just do?
Yeah, that's an annoying feature of.
So spinning wheels, yeah. So I brought my Ashford spinning wheel right there. The one I started with is the Ashford Traditional, which you'll see a lot of those. These are shocked wheels made in Colorado. And then there's the walking wheel, which I don't know how to do, but I thought it was a kind of cool picture. So there's no pedaling. I think what they do is spin the wheel and walk back and forth. And spin.
walk away.
Yeah, yeah.
So walk back and forth.
So there's lots of kinds of wheels and they do the same thing, just different ways. And then there's carding. So carding, there's fiber. Let's see. So carding the fiber, I personally like to buy fiber that's already in a roving form. So like this is roving. I like to buy it like that. And I especially like it when I buy it in colors that I love. But I can't do that, the carding part. So you can blend colors, you can straighten out the fibers if you have a fleece. I also don't particularly like washing fleeces. Well, some people do, I don't. So I'm going to talk about something else in a minute about that too. So let's see. Oh, I jumped over it. No, I didn't. So I also have felting classes at my studio. And I don't felt. I rather spin yarn out of wool than felt it. But a lot of people like to felt. And I found after I had the last instructor teaching felting, I found myself buying a couple of felting books. Okay, here I go. So it's really fun. I have three felting teachers. Anna Rebke comes from Central Illinois, and this is kind of her class up here. That's her right there. So she does a wet felting class with some needle felting and with some sewing on it. She makes these beautiful, beautiful things. Then I have another person, Justine Heinrichs. She's from Cedarburg, and she does needle felting mostly. And so she does this kind of felting. She's gonna, in September, she's gonna teach a class at my studio on doing the horse head. And she's also teaching this class she taught a couple years ago, and it filled up really fast. These little, she calls them owls. I think they look like gnomes, but she's teaching a class in, I think, September on that. And this is Nuno felting. Another person that I have teaching felting is Nan Calvert. And I tried Nuno felting, so I have one up here in case you don't know what that is. This is a scarf that starts out as with silk, and then you put wool on it and wet felt it. So that's here for you to look at if you like. And then I have some of the fibers I used when I did that. So, okay.
Do you do it on like, what is that called?
Nuno felting, N-U-N-O.
Do you do it on a frame?
No,
No, you do it, you have to lay it out.
you lay out the silk and you put wool on it.
And then you roll it up.
Yeah, my personal dislike with felting is the repetition of it, whether it's wet felting, you're rolling like a bazillion times, and then move it, and then you do it another bazillion times. And with needle felting, it's bazillion, I don't know, I can knit all day, I can weave all day, but needle felting is, anyway, I'd rather spin wool than felt it, but who knows? So anyway, I have some really cool classes, on felting taught by other people. And then other fun stuff. So I have some knitting and crochet classes. It's just beginning stuff. So when I talk about you shouldn't have to knit or crochet anything you don't really want to do, we actually do. My friends teach you do a washcloth because that's a good way to just start and have something and it's done. And when there's mistakes, you say it's just a washcloth. So I do have a few knitting classes, crochet. Nan Keller, the person I mentioned before, also does this really cool thing called stone wrapping. So you take these really, the stones you pick up when you go places and you say, wow, that's a cool stone, I need that. And then she teaches about weaving around it and making it really special. So she's teaching a class in stone wrapping at Humble Oak, and I believe I talked to them yesterday, and they're going to be doing a presentation next month. Ellie, I think, is who's coming. Anyway, she's teaching a stone wrapping class there, and then Nan is teaching an advanced stone wrapping. So if you've already done that, she's teaching some more techniques. So that's pretty cool. The other thing that I have coming up that I'm still arranging, so I can't tell you a date, is this continuous strand weaving. Jane Grogan does this. So it's kind of like pinwheel weaving, although she gets irritated when you call it that because it's not exactly that. But it's taking these, there are little pins on the end, but it's a continuous strand. So you're never cutting and redoing it. She did a little heart class and I've got the looms for those. Those are really cool. So this fall I'm gonna have her teach a class. And then I like to do dyeing. I like to dye wool. I like to dye cellulose fibers. So that's kind of some of the stuff up here. Sock blanks. Have you do that? So I have a couple of sock blanks that I dyed. Do you know what those are? Yeah. So I'll the sock blank this was blank and it was white. And then you dye it these colors, and there's 2 strands knit on a knitting machine into this rectangle. So after it's dyed, you pull it apart and you have 2 balls of yarn. They're exactly the same. And it's really fun because these colors don't really play out like that. They knit out a little bit differently than that looks like this. But it's really fun. These are some of the yarns that I've dyed. And I've done dyeing classes where people come and I set everything up and you just come and play and make your yarn like you want it. I also do these bowls, which is sewing. When I was at farmers markets, it's hard to sell wool in July. And I like doing this. So I started making, these are coiled cotton baskets. So it's cotton clothesline cord with a 1/2-inch strip of fabric wrapped around it, zigzag on the sewing machine. And it's really fun. It's really, really fun. So I have these just to show you up here. So let's see, I think that's all my stuff. That's all my, yeah, I do have more. So the Common Threads Fiber Group, which you mentioned, we meet at the Waukesha Public Library usually on Wednesday nights. I have to go by the Waukesha's calendar to know when we're gonna meet, and it's just a social thing. It's not a guild, so there's not like a president or anything. We just sit around and knit, spin, weave, whatever, talk. Sometimes we eat. So if you're interested in that in Waukesha, let me know or sign up on my website and I just send out an email saying when it is, and that's really all that there is for that.
What's the time on that?
It's 6 until 8. And so we had a meeting in April. We're not doing one May, and we're kind of skipping through the summer, maybe July. So again, if you sign up for the email, I just send it out and you just show up. You don't have to tell me or anything. You just come there at the library. occasionally, the library's full, we have it, so I took a photo of us in a group. This is in our community room that I was telling you about at my studio. So occasionally we meet there. And it's not a real big group. It's just whoever shows up, 15, 20 people, something at the most. The other really fun thing I want to tell you about is the sheep to shawl competition at the Sheep and Wool Festival. Have you all been to the Wisconsin Sheep and Wool Festival? If you haven't, you should. I have a flyer up here for it. I usually volunteer there and I take classes. I just think it's really, really fun. And I also, we've done it 3 times and we're doing it again this year, participate in the sheep to shawl competition. And so right now we're starting to talk about what we're gonna make, what we're gonna do. And I have our last year's display right here, and I'll set it up on the table, but this is what we had at our table. So if you haven't been there and want to see this, this talks about the process. So we start out with a loom that's already warped, and we dye the warp, we dye the wool. When you come there, you can have the wool washed or dyed, but you can't prepare it. And the contest starts at 9 o'clock, it ends at 1:30. So you start carding, start teasing the wool, carding the wool, spinning the wool, applying the wool, and the weaver starts weaving. And so the description of how that works is up here. So this last year, our idea, and this also is up here, I'm sure you can't really see this, but this is Lake Michigan, and that was what we wanted to replicate in our weaving. So this picture right here is what we were doing with it. I'm gonna set this down and hold up my weaving. Yikes. So this is the shawl. Yeah, it was fun. We got seconds.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It is amazing. It's a fun week. So the group is 8 people. You can have up to 8 people, and one person in your group has to be an educational liaison. Which at first, I did sheep to shawl in upstate New York, and they didn't require that, and I thought it was kind of a dumb idea. But really, it's a really good idea, because that educational liaison fields all the questions. You know, they stand by this, they can describe things so that nobody is asking the weaver, the spinner questions, because they need to focus. So there's an educational liaison, and then we have the carder and the spinners and the plier, and then I've been the weaver. And it's, excuse me, it's always really intense right at the end. I mean, the spinner's done spinning and they get to sit and talk and laugh, and the weaver's like, you have to get done, and so they call it, they call it at 1:30, and the 1:30 includes that you have to take a half-hour lunch, so it's really like a 4-hour contest. And then they measure it and they judge it based on spinning and design and weaving and all different qualities, and it has to be a certain size. So it's pretty exciting. It's a lot of intense work. So I guess that's pretty much my studio. So I have taught classes at an organic farm west of Waukesha called Wenyan Hill Farm, and they have sheep. And so I've dyed some of their yarn. So this is local wool that I dyed. And I guess, as I'm expanding and spending more time with my studio, I want to have weaving yarns mostly, and local, so local wool. And I have currently some alpaca that I got from a local farmer, a friend, in coned yarn. So I'm kind of focusing more on weaving, but I do have a few knitting yarns, and so I think those are all the things I can tell you, and I'm happy to show you a demonstration of spinning if you haven't ever seen it or want to see more about how that works, or the rigid heddle loom. So, is there any questions?
How many groups participated in the shawl to?
Sheep to shawl? Yeah. One time there was 4. This last time there were 3. It's new to the Wisconsin Sheep and Wool Festival. They did it right before COVID, and then they stopped. Our group, toward the end of COVID, did a demonstration just because we had so much fun doing it, so it wasn't a contest. So I think this year will be the 4th time they've done it, so it's not been.
I'm curious about if you make a scarf
weave scarf versus knitting, how much longer compared to two one would take?
That's a really good question because, as I described, I don't know if you heard it in the little interview, when I warp my loom, I put a 15-yard warp on it. And then I weave maybe 7 scarves. The setting up of the loom takes the most amount of time, so that if it's taking me, 8 hours or 4 hours or whatever, threading all the heddles, doing all that stuff, in my mind, I can divide it by 7 scarves. So I think it's more efficient to do, if you're gonna do multiple, to do weaving.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I'd say you use less yarn, not positive about that, but you can use knitting yarn for weaving. It doesn't have to be like special weaving yarn.
Yeah, I was wondering, is that fingering weight?
That right there, what we're gonna use for that class in Mequon is, so it's similar to, it's a worsted weight, I believe. It's similar to what is like sugar and cream kind of yarn, only I got that from Knit Picks. It's called Dishy, I think, and it's really soft. So I wove this was a blanket, a baby blanket out of something similar to sugar and cream yarn here. And it's much stiffer. I think it would be a good blanket for a baby, like on the ground, hanging out on the ground. I also think, what I'm selling these as is a lap blanket now. Like, I'm thinking of someone who might be in a wheelchair who needs just something extra to keep them warm, but it's cotton and it's pretty, it's significantly woven. Yeah. Any other questions? All right. I think I've told you everything I know. Yeah, come visit. I'm getting ready to leave on a road trip with my husband. We're going for a month out west, up the coast, taking a weaving class in Whidbey Island, Washington. So I won't be around for a month, but on my website, I have my hours, and they're a lot more than what those hours say. So if you are in town, email, call, whatever, and if I'm there, you're welcome to come by and see. And again, I have, so at the table when you walked in, I had an I Love Yarn card that I took up some of my dyed yarn with my information on the back side of it. And then there's information, like I said, up here on some of the classes. I have a sheep to shawl flyer, and then a little note card that talks about art crawls in Waukesha. The next one is going to be in August. We just had one this month. So August, and then October, and then December, I believe. So
I'm just curious, what was your big girl job?
I was a landscape architect at an engineering company.
So you have that art in your background?
Yeah, but no.
Okay.
It's commercial landscape design, and there's no.
Okay,
It was
gotcha.
grocery stores and parking lots and quick trips. And it was more municipal code than it was design, truthfully. It was a good job, but I'm having fun with what I'm doing here now.
So do you have a degree? Where are you getting your color experience?
I don't know. I just see what I like, and a lot of times. So when I'm doing a weaving, like this scarf, a couple of these scarves up here. If you look closer at them, I start out with a variegated yarn, and then I go and pick colors in that variegation. So when I warp the loom, I have the variegated yarn, and then, like in this case, it was blue and green and a rose color, and I put those threads in there. And then when I weave it, I weave just with one of those colors, so they're all different, but they're similar. And so I use variegated yarn to guide me a lot of times. Yeah, and then just playing with colors. I don't know. It's just fun, seeing what works out. I also brought this is some dog hair that I spun. This is dog hair that was blended with bamboo for a lady who paid me to do this. I have people come up to me at the farmer's market, do you need dog hair? It's like, I have a golden retriever, I do not need dog hair. So yeah, it's just fun. It's just a lot of fun. And like I said, it all started out with me knitting and sewing. Did you have a question?
How did you learn all this weaving?
At the Community Arts Center in Stillwater, Oklahoma. they had weaving looms there, and I just took classes. And kind of a funny side story on that is I was working there. The job I went to was with the USDA, so I was working for the government in the Soil Conservation Service at the time. And I got married and started having children. So I quit the job, and they said to me, you know, I was there for like 3 or 4 years, and I was 7 years old, and there was some money in a pension or a whatever. What do you want to do with that? And I'm like, give me the money. Give me the money, you know. So they gave me my money, and I bought a weaving loom with it. And it turns out that was my retirement. Which is kind of fun to think of, had I known.
So how did you end up in Wisconsin?
I grew up in Fond du Lac.
Oh.
Yeah, and then my husband is from Oklahoma, but when he graduated, he went to school at Cornell in Ithaca. And when he graduated, one of the job offers was at UW-Milwaukee, so we came back, or I came back. He came with me. Thanks for having me, and I joined the guild, so I have a name tag and everything. And I survived talking on a microphone. This is really good experience.
It's a gift from us to you. Thank you so much for presenting.
Thank you.
And I think if it's okay with you, I'll give everyone maybe 10 minutes to kind of look at your beautiful work, and then we'll start our business meeting. So take 10 minutes or so and come check out the gorgeousness that is up here.
It's just funny when I was leaving my studio, I was like, oh, I want this, and I want to show this, and all of a sudden I need 3 tables.
So how does it end up? So they both take out parts.
Remember,
I mean, I think we have to.
at my table, but then I try to step out of that box, like this.
And that's what's a good idea.
So I it's similar yarn.
You're right. Yes. Yeah, I mean,
This is a weave with the door. That's where the
I'm sorry, too. Are you in the middle of something?
No, I was just checking the newsletter because I knew that we need a t-shirt or something.
Okay, let's take a quick question. On Facebook,
Yes, it is.
Because I know, I mean, I know we talked about that would be a feature to the newsletter. I'm just really kind of,
I understand. Yeah, Nicole.
Are you gonna make it?
Oh, yeah.
Just to say that,
Yeah.
that's legitimate.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
it's
I'll
safe.
address it.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. We're gonna do a little website walkthrough tonight too. So we're on if they're not joined or having a hard time navigating. Yeah. I love auto-pay and like online pay. That is my favorite new feature.
Oh, that, yeah.
Yes, the parent patterns are there. You can access the newsletter and just contact information. Now it's very easily emails ago when we got our husband.
But nice if you and wanted a little Oh, They're gonna ask.
I did it.
Oh, yeah. That's
How you doing, Karen? Good, huh, Karen? Still is.
around the neck with it.
Doesn't that feel nice?
My last name was
Nice and soft. Feel this one. Not as soft as that one.
I'm gonna give everyone about 3 more minutes before we start our board meeting.
You know what?
I was thinking maybe I could try this first so that I could get the answer. See if you want to sign up, you don't have time to sign up. I need to get the answer. Want to come August 1st, she 11th, but they told me they don't want anybody on August 9th because they got free dinner.
It's easier to
Yeah. What if they'll do but then I will It's okay, it happens to all of us.
All right, folks, I ask that you end your conversation soon-ish, and we'll get started with our formal meeting. Thank you. I'm doing something a little differently today because I forgot my iPad, so everyone gets to see what we're talking about tonight. So we'll start with our call to order, which is this. Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is Tuesday. It feels like a Tuesday. Did everyone, or did most of us get our minutes and things from last month? I'm hearing a lot of no's. We'll fix that tonight, I hope. For those of you who did get them, do you agree with what they say? Yes. All right, fantastic. Can I please get a motion to accept the minutes as they were read?
Ann McClure.
Thank you, Ann. Sorry, Ann McClure. And second, Cheryl, thank you. Thank you for saying your name. It helps our secretary over there who's taking notes very, very helpfully. So, all right, and all in favor? Aye. Fantastic. Love that for us. All right, I'm switching up my committee reports a little bit because Karen would like to present on the state fair. So Karen is going to go first. Karen Lemmer, come on.
Thank you. Hi, I am the education chairman for the state fair, and we always get volunteers to come from the Knitting Guild to State Fair to knit in the sheep barn. The store there is called Just For You, and Carol Black and I arranged volunteers. And so from August 1st through August 11th, I have time slots, 4 hours, and you do get a parking pass and a state fair ticket, which is really nice. And then you can enjoy the state fair after you volunteer. But the thing I like about volunteering is we do get new members who sometimes they say, I've never heard of the Knitting Guild in Milwaukee. So that's really great that we've gotten members that way. But also the children, their moms go into the shop, or my dads are sitting out there watching the kids while the mom's in the shop shopping. And it's fun to talk to the kids about knitting. And I like to get them to make a stitch and tell them this is what happens with wool, and spinners spin it, and then we knit it, and you get a sweater or mittens. So the only requirement that State Fair or Just For You asks is that we knit with wool. So if anybody has an idea they'd like to volunteer, or they want to see what the hours are, the dates and times, I'd just like to pass this around now so that we have the rest of the meeting to look it over and hear the meeting. Okay? Any questions?
Just a reminder, make sure you put your email address in.
Yeah, I did write email on several of these because I just need your name, your address, because State Fair will mail you the ticket and the parking voucher. And then I will email you rather, with confirmation that you're in that time slot.
Yep.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you. It's a hoot and a half to knit for State Fair, so please go do it.
So I'll start it right here.
If we need to check schedules, can we sign up at another time, or is this the only opportunity to sign
You
up?
can call me, I'm Karen Lemmer. You can email me. I do think I signed up for Friday, so my email is KLEMMER and then the number 7@twc.com, or my phone number.
Thank you. All right, excellent question, because I know a lot of us don't have our August plans on hand on the top of our heads.
Right,
so.
right.
All right. Okay, we'll start with Treasury. Jump to Treasury.
The ending balance for March 9th was $9,307.69. This month, on the 1st, we've got $86.59 from Woods.
Okay. So that's just from our Wix members who sign up. online. All right, Charity, we get somebody to come up and represent. Thank you. Hello, I am Lisa Luziak and I co-chair the charity committee with Nicole Anderson. This month we had 15 hat donations, 18 scarves, 3 cowls, 2 baby items, 3 headbands, 1 baby sweater that is adorable with little hedgehog buttons, and 10 kid scarves. So thank you to all who donated and knit. And if this inspires you to knit something for the children, we love to knit for the children. We have kits pre-made in that little bag back there. And this one is a pair of on-the-go overalls, baby overalls.
They're the cutest thing.
Baby overalls, people. So you could knit these up. We also have hats, mittens. I think there's 1 baby blanket back there. So yarn that people donate. So this is another way to just help for the charity is if you don't want to knit, but you would like to donate yarn, you can do that and we will put your donated yarn into kits that other people can then knit up and make for charity in our organizations. And this next May, June, July, this quarter is specifically for baby items. So if you are planning out things May, June, July, you can bring to the meetings anything really, but specifically we're collecting for baby items. And then in the summertime, it'll be warm weather accessories, right? Nicole? No, don't disregard that. Strike that from the record. Okay, so that is it.
All right, where are these donations going?
To area local charities. We've already donated to the Milwaukee Women's Center. The children's, like baby items, will be donated to several local hospitals and local charities in particular.
Are we still gonna do Christ Child Society?
TBD, because we are looking to expand outside of what we would normally always do, so.
Do you accept donations in general for knit items, or do they need to be kits?
Oh, no. In general, you can make whatever you would like, and we will find a home for those items. But we just kind of have a quarter focus, just so that we are promoting that charity or that type of item.
As I sit at a farmer's market or somewhere, I often have people come up and say, I need all these hats just because I need to do this, but I don't know where to give them. So would I be able to bring them here, or could somebody bring them here?
Yes, please.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Tonight we had a donation from a woman. I'm apologizing for my. Oh, yeah. There you are. You brought a donation. Judy did of scarves.
And I did not make them.
Correct.
That I just met last month had made them and didn't know where to take them.
I love
And
that.
I
Yeah.
volunteered to bring them here.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you,
So
thank
as
you.
long as those items are clean, new, and smell fresh, I think that's the only criteria. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you. And actually, I'm going to head back that way now because it's membership. So I will bring the microphone to Mary.
Here, I'll.
Baton it.
Okay, so tonight we have 43 members in attendance, and our membership list was 92 at the start of the night, but we had somebody join tonight. So it's 93. So
Welcome.
congratulations. And we have 2 guests other than the new member. So welcome.
Can our new member and our guests rise so we can say hello to everybody who's new tonight? Not to put you on the spot, but we like to say hello. 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 Where's the new member left, actually? Yes. Sorry. Oh, new member left. That's okay. That's all right. People have stuff to do. It's understandable. But welcome, welcome. We're so glad you could come tonight. All right. Next up is program. Mary is obviously not here tonight. I am pretending to be Mary. I'm very bad at her job. But we appreciate her because I appreciate her extra now because I had to be here tonight. Keep an eye on the website and the newsletter for any upcoming programs. She's very good about posting what's upcoming, and especially like month to month, she tells us who's coming, who's going, what's going on. And I think she's got programs listed up until December this month in a May newsletter. So she is on top of things. Events. Kelly, anything to add? Okay. Molly mentioned she was waiting to hear back from Patty Lyons about her European trip, and she'll give us an update after she convenes her committee about all of that. So she wanted me to announce that to you. Other than that, things are status quo. Publicity, newsletter, / website. Erica.
So, website update, we have 81 members who have signed up for an online account. That's almost 90%. If we could bump it up another 10%, that'd be wonderful. We've had a total of 250 unique visitors since the website started on February 22nd. That's some really nice traffic. We now have a charity pattern library populated by Lisa. Thank you, Lisa, for populating the library. You guys all probably know this, but we have the auto renew membership. If you just want to not have to be reminded, you can get an auto renew membership. Also, we've added events to the events calendar. If you would like to RSVP for the holiday party and make Mary's life easier, you can start doing that now. You can even sign up for a dish. So it's out there, it's up there. Coming soon, we will be emailing the remaining members who do not yet have an online account, probably in June. And let's see. I think that's pretty much it for the website. With regard to the newsletter, we had 100% send rate on benchmark, so there are no bounces. And just a reminder, the newsletter can only be viewed if you have an online account with our website. So that's it for newsletter and website.
Excellent.
Yes.
Were the minutes attached to the newsletter?
No, they are separate. There's a separate folder on the website.
So you have to go to the website and look and pull up the minutes to see.
Yes, there's a separate folder for minutes. There's a separate folder for our membership list, and then for the newsletter.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And does the membership list now have people's addresses?
No, it does not. That is to be determined. But we will. Long story short, Wix has a opt-in function where you automatically, if you choose to do so, can share information, but we're working on figuring out that functionality.
Okay. Yeah, my reason for wanting to know was just because, there's so many new members compared to some of us who were members 10 years ago, that it'd be nice to know if they came from the same part of the city and we could carpool or something.
Yeah. I love that idea. I think it's just still in works.
Right, that's fine. And thank you for the answer about the minutes. I had no idea.
No problem.
We're gonna do a website walkthrough tonight. It's in our new business.
Okay.
Yes, Christelle.
One of the members asked if she signs in and she has forgotten her password. And she says, forgot password, does she have to wait for another approval?
No.
Okay.
No.
She just makes a new password.
She can just reset her password, or she can also email me and I can send her a link to reset the password.
Excellent.
Someone else?
I just tag on Erica.
Sure.
The Facebook group that you all currently use now is likely going to be shut down soon, so make sure that you find the Facebook page going forward. So if you go to the Facebook group, there's a link to the Facebook page, which we'll be using going forward.
How do we tell the difference? I don't know what we're talking about.
Maybe I can log into Facebook and
Yes,
show
yes.
that.
So yeah, currently right now it's just a group which was started by someone in the guild long ago. So we actually created like our own Facebook page. now. So
I never
So you
remember
don't
my
have to be a
password for
member, you can
Facebook.
find it by being a member of the group and view everything.
Yes.
It's more like a website.
Yes, exactly.
Now, do you click the link that's on our
Just
current Facebook?
Yep, if you click that link that you'll see I posted in the group,
Yep.
click that link and like that Facebook page and you'll be all set.
You don't have to re-enter your password.
No, oh no. Mm-mm.
So the person that set up that original group is no longer in the guild?
I believe so.
Right, and we're not able to shut that down. So how-
I've been made an admin, so probably in like a month or so, once we get everybody moved over, I will shut down that group.
I don't, it has to be the original owner. Are you an admin or an owner? An admin.
There was an option when I set up the page, so I'm pretty sure I can do
Not the
it.
page, the group.
Right. There was when I was going in and as an admin, I could look at the group and there was an option to archive the group. So I'll likely do that at some point.
So.
I can never remember my Facebook
When
password.
I
It's
add you,
always
I just
been
did
that.
it. You actually go to Nicole, Brooke is going to be the host.
Right.
And then there's a URL to touch and it signs you up, so. Just pull it up while you're here and you'll have it done.
Yep, super easy.
Wait a minute, meeting.
Yeah, I can't get into Facebook on a computer because I use just my phone all the time. Sorry. I never use Facebook, so I hardly ever worry about it. Sorry. If anyone
No
knows their
worries.
Facebook password, I can show you where to go and what to do, but do you have yours on hand by chance?
I do on my phone.
Could you log in on this computer? Do you know your password? Because I don't know my password. Yeah, we're in the same boat.
No.
It logs in
Mine goes off
automatically.
my finger.
Yeah, mine too. The iPhone is wonderful in that sense. Okay, so I will try to figure out a way to walk that through. If I had my document cam, I'd pull it up on my phone and show you, but alas. But when you are, that is a legit link, so you'll see Nicole's post in our Facebook group that we're in currently, and if you just hit that like follow back link or the like page invite, then that will be there for you. I will try to repost it, or we'll try to repost it a couple more times so that you don't lose access to that Facebook page. But it's just going to be a lot more streamlined. You'll notice that in the group, there's a lot of like memes and pictures and outside randos coming in, like making knitting requests that aren't actually knitting requests. So there's a lot of unknown members in that group because it's an open group. So anyone can come in and join Greater Milwaukee Knitting Guild regardless of whether they're in the Milwaukee area or whether they're in, somewhere in Taipei. It does not matter. Anyone can join. So we want to kind of fix some of that and make it a more kind of localized group for us, and a page rather than a group. All right. Nominations committee. Lisa, you're up again. I should have just had you stay up here after charity and do this. Sorry.
No worries.
If I'd been thinking, I wouldn't have made you run all over.
Hello again. Nominations for next year, open committee positions or board positions. Last month, I put some feelers out there about the positions that were open, and just because there's new people or people that were not here last month, I will run through that again. So new positions that are open that we will vote on in July. Oh, thank goodness, July. because those positions, there will be a description of them in next month's newsletter. If you have questions, or you can log into the website and go to the member only section and look at the file share where you will see bylaws, guild bylaws, and in that PDF, it tells you a description of what overall your responsibilities would be if you were to chair, co-chair a board position for that. But the open positions are president, secretary, and then those are the board positions. And then committee is education, charity, website, publicity, and membership. So if you were ever interested in volunteering for any one of those committees, we will happily ask you to, serve in any capacity. And if you would like to serve specifically as a chairperson or board member, please let me know. My contact information is in the newsletter. You can just send me an email, or I may even reach out to you from interests that were generated from the membership forms that you signed up for. So that's the reason why I would reach out to you. So, Kelly.
Events, like I'll still be the chairperson, but if anybody, the committee person, but if anybody wants to do anything, just let me know, help in any way.
Okay.
I'm always looking for people.
Yeah, and I think that that's a really great thing just to keep in mind, that you don't have to be in charge of the group or the committee. You can also just help out. So if there's somebody in particular that you want to reach out to, everybody's emails are on the website and also in the newsletter. So reach out to them don't be shy. We love the help. So,
Slate goes out in June. So
Slate
we
goes
have to
out in June.
we have to have our names ready by next month.
We have to have our names ready by next month. And then we will vote in July, and then we will be installing in August, so that in September, in the start of our new year, we will be all set to go.
Yeah. That way we can meet with the old board/committee chairs and the new board/committee chairs and kind of intermix and pass it off and all of that stuff. So we have a little time.
All right.
And it's just a 1-year commitment, right?
Just a 1-year commitment.
Okay.
Yeah.
1 year commitment. More is always welcome, but
Yes.
1 year is.
We vote every year.
We vote every year.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Old business. So this is kind of a rehash of what Nicole told us earlier, reminder that we were looking for someone to take over the social media posting. We talked about that last month at the meeting. And Nicole, like she said, is taking over Facebook and Instagram pages for the Guild. So join that new page that the Guild has created. That is a legit link and it will not spam you. So please go and join that. New business. The yarn crawl is happening August 23rd through 25th. Nicole knows more about this than I do, but we agreed to, as a board, to do some advertising funding for that. And because of that, there's going to be, remind me, Nicole, it's like an incentivized event or vendor thing.
Yes, after the yarn crawl on Sunday.
26th?
Yes, Sunday the 26th. So the yarn crawl is the 24th through the 26th. We are having a meetup/open knit at the landing at Hoyt Park, which is sponsored by the Guild. There'll be 4, I believe, vendors there for you to continue shopping and just sit in it.
All right, so extra special privileges if you are a Guild member.
What time is that happening? The stores close at 4 and the open knit will start at 5.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At the landing at Hoyt Park.
We know that the yarn crawl, where is that?
It's southeast Wisconsin. Not all the local yard stops, but all the participating stores.
So do we get some information on what we're participating?
You will. It's the Wandering U Yarn Crawl, so the Wandering U Yarn Crawl has its own
Newsletter, not newsletter.
We'll
post it in the Guild newsletter.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we'll probably post some more information in the Guild newsletter as it comes out. I know there was a little announcement about it, I think, in our newsletter this May, but it wasn't super detailed because we might not have all those details yet, so that is fine. I just wanted to let you know that the board did agree to spend some money to advertise for Wondering You, and because of that, we get that kind of extra special incentivized extra shopping after the actual yarn crawl is over. All right, next thing is website walkthrough. So I do know how to log into the website. Sorry about the Facebook issue. But I do know my password for this one. So when you are ready to sign up, if you have not yet, you're going to go to Greater Milwaukee knittingguild.com. And our beautiful landing page shows up. So the first thing that always pops up is like when we get together, our social hour at 5, our programs at 6. You can find all of those events on a calendar. If you click find a meeting, it pops up with the monthly guild meeting and when they are. Very handy. You'll see there are lots of different tabs here. You can join. There are these different options to join up. So like if you are a brand new member and you just found us in March, that would be the $15 mid-year membership. Otherwise, you can do an auto renew. So you can set it and forget it and you're just automatically renewed every year, which I love because I am forgetful. And also I can't find my checkbook 90% of the time. So I love this option. There's also just the 1-year membership. So if you want to join that, I think it gives you an email reminder when you're about to run out, right? So yeah, it'll remind you to re-sign up. And then of course we have our student memberships for our younger members. Contact information is here as well. So this is just reaching out to, I think Erica might be the only person who gets these emails, but this is the contact info if you have questions, comments, such about the website. Then it has a members only page. You can only use this page if you are signed up with your Gmail or other email account. So I'm gonna log in with Google because that's what I do. I use Google. And then you'll see that once I logged in, not only will you see my name over here, but you'll also see all of these cool things that you can't see unless you're logged in. We have the standing rules, we have the patterns library, we have FAQ, we have the newsletter archive. These are things that you can fill out after you've joined us, the membership application, the photo release, and the file share information, bylaws, standing rules, minutes from the past. So if you wanted to access the minutes from last meeting, you would click that, you would click it open, and here's all Colleen's hard work. So all of that information is there under the members only tab. So you click the members only and you'll get that giant list of files. The membership roster is here too. This is what it looks like when you open that up. And it's updated monthly, which is very handy. And you'll notice that there are email addresses associated with everybody. As stated previously, we're working on maybe adding addresses to that as well, physical addresses. So if you need to contact anyone, that information is right there, easy to find. There's also a whole thing for our information about the people who are doing all of the leadership roles. And there's contact information when you click on them too. So if I want to email Molly, all I have to do is click on her name. And I don't have an account set up on this computer because it's the Guild computer, but that will pop up and ask you to sign in. So you can send an email directly to them. Very, very handy. And then, of course, we have our newsletter tab as well. And it pops right up. You click on the month that you're looking for. There's also that archive that's in with those files as well. And then you just click on the newsletter and it pops right up. So super duper handy, very easy to use, pretty user friendly. Gives us our membership update every month. We have little website updates and things up here too, very slick. Yes.
I noticed there was only one file in the newsletter and in the meeting minutes. Is that just the most recent one and the rest are in the archives?
So the minutes, I think maybe a newer edition. I think is there only the one for the minutes? Yeah, well, so we'll add more and just kind of continue adding those monthly because that's sort of a newer edition. However, then the newsletters are archived. So if you hop down here, where did I see it? Is it here? I think we have, there might, I think I saw a whole archived newsletters here. Yeah, GMKG newsletter archives. So we have from 2023 and 2024. So there are some more of them there. So if you would like to do the archives, they are there as well. Colleen.
Laura, do you want to just talk about how when you first log in with I think it's with the website that you're going to get an email when you sign up, but then you've got to go into that email and confirm.
Yeah. So let me see if I can do that. All right. So if I hit, if I log out here, I have the login option, but I also have the new to this site where you can sign up. So I'm going to sign up. I'm going to borrow the guild's email address. So I'm going to put Greater Milwaukee Knitting Guild. Sorry about this, Erica.
I'm interested to see what happens.
I'm not sure you'll get an email actually. And I'm going to borrow the email address jmkguild@gmail.com. I'm going to enter a password and submit. So you have to verify that you're a human and not a robot. They don't like robots. Maybe. It might think I'm a robot. There we go. And then it says that you have a sign up request, and I believe Erica gets those emails and she can confirm them. So is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So I would have to wait until my request had been approved, then that GMK Guild email address would get an email saying, hey, you've been approved to go to our website. And then from there, you can just log into everything like I showed. Make sense? Any questions, concerns, comments? Excellent. All right. If there's any notifications or anything, those show up here. We also have a direct link to things like our YouTube. So if you click the YouTube icon up at the top, it'll pop up all of those meetings that we record. So also to our Facebook group, which we might be changing to that page, and our Instagram. So those take you directly to all of our social media stuff, which is very handy, very slick as well. All right, yes.
Sorry for all the questions.
No.
I saw somewhere it said like join us on Ravelry. How active is the Ravelry group? Or is there a link to that on here?
So the Ravelry group is not super duper active, but we could make it more active if more people were more interested in that. We do have just a Ravelry, like, is it a forum? I'm not super involved in that either. So I'll have to do some more work on that. But yes, we do have one. It's just, I don't think it's been super active lately. Thank you for asking. That's a great question.
I have a question.
Yes.
Our membership goes from September to August.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Membership goes from September to August. It did not used to be that way because we had 2 missed meetings in the middle. So it used to go from September to July, and then we'd skip August and then start over again in September. But now we do all the meetings all the time. All right. Any other questions? All right, fantastic. I think that's the last piece of new business that I have. So any other questions, comments, discussions that you feel we need to have that we have missed, that I have missed? Yeah. All right, then I will ask for somebody to motion to close the meeting.
Before we do
Yes,
that,
Karen.
I'd just like to let everybody know that Worldwide Knitting and Public Day is the Saturday, second Saturday in June.
Okay.
And we won't be meeting before then.
Oh, okay. Thank you for reminding. So second Saturday in June is Worldwide Knit and Public Day. We usually have something that we do for that. So I guess check out the Facebook page. Maybe we'll do a local yarn shop hop or something. June 8th. Okay, thank you. Yes. Oh, yarn donations? You can bring them here for meetings and donate them to our lovely charity folks. I believe you could probably also, for now, also donate them at Cream City Yarn if you would like. No, not so much. Okay, not so much. Just here. Sorry. All right, fair enough. So yeah, just bring them to meetings if you have donations. All right, fantastic. Anything else? All right, then I will ask for somebody to close the meeting or motion to close the meeting. Sorry, who was that? Pat, thank you, Pat, sorry. And a second? Karen, thank you. All right, all in favor? All right, so closed. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
I feel overwhelmed by this sheet of shawl.
Yeah, I read
Thank you.
Oh. We're working on it. We're working on it. We try our best.
That's okay. I just want to know.
Thank you.
So I think that, are you an active?
I
can't. And are you staying?
I am, but I'm backing down to half time. So I'm going to be 3 days a week instead of 5 days a week. I'm actually going to work the other 2 days a week and increase the time.
Oh, wow.
I'm at 2 schools actually right now. Next year I'll just be at 1. I am an elementary music teacher. I'm going to go end the stream really quick, but I promise I'm still paying attention. There we go. And dang it. There we go. All right.